Hello ladies and gents, a joy to be back. I haven't quite shaken COVID off yet. I'm still coughing and I have got this funky nasal sound, but I will try my best to deliver content to you again. Before we jump right into it today with the Norway's Chess Classic, just a quick announcement. If you look down below where I'm pointing roughly, there is a new tab there for super thanks. This is a new way for you to express your gratitude if you are grateful for the content I deliver, and this is just basically to help me, to support me really to deliver content on a regular basis and to shoulder the expenses that they come with it. So if you do that, I will be definitely very grateful, but of course it is a absolutely optional thing to do. And now Norway Chess, ladies and gents, what a show it has been so far. I dare say that it's all about Wishy Anand, the legendary Tiger of Madras, was actually leading the tournament all the way up to last round. And even now, he's second right behind the world champion Magnus Carlsen, who won an absolutely beautiful game that I'm going to show you today. A positional masterpiece, no less, in the G3 Grünfeld with a little bit of a detour. Right there we are, C4, C6, and we arrive at a very topical variation with this E4, Bishop G4, H3, take, and E5. And pawn sacrifices, ladies and gentlemen, is the name of the game for both sides, but in particular for white in this game. So it's going to be particularly interesting to observe how these pawn sacks change the dynamic of the game. So E5 is purely played to provoke white to take and then allow black to reroute the knight and come in towards D3 and also to open up the long diagonal. Perfect sense. What does white do? Immediately sacks the pawn back. Very clever stuff. We must lose the pawn no matter what, and so we might as well lose it on our terms, creating a weak isolated pawn on e6, and now c4, e6 both are a little bit vulnerable. Bishop e3, queen e7. This is, by the way, the novelty. Up to now we are following theory Dubov, I believe. Yes, Dubov had a game all the way until here, but queen e7 was Mamedyarov's novelty. Bishop g2, plan is f4, of course. Knight a6, queen e2 hitting the pawn, knight b4, and queen takes c4. So before we could do anything with this f4 e5 shutdown, we needed to recuperate the c4 pawn, and now black just on time jumps in to hassle us here and here. And this would be truly bad if it weren't for this marvelous counterpunch, knight d5, opening up the queen's path back to c2. Know that knight e3 is not capturable because knight takes e7 is a check. So cd, queen takes, and d4. Now again we are entering a very different pawn structure because now black is going to have a passer on d4, but the white pawns are only in two islands and they are better connected. So excuse me, we will see who is going to be ahead. Rook c8, queen b3, knight c5. On the flip side, dynamically speaking, the black pieces are coming out tempi after tempi after tempi, or rather tempo after tempo after tempo, and so white really needs to keep up. Queen a3 is definitely just a timely punch back to remind black that it's not all a walk in the park. Queen d7, rook a c1, hitting the knight again, and just before you would say that, oh, this is getting quite boring, comes yet another sensational pawn sack, pawn e5, opening up the diagonal of the white squared bishop. Such a lovely style. Carlsen really is delivering the goods. The amazing thing is that even after these moves, the position is objectively equal, and actually Mamedyarov defends it really well. But this pawn sack to open up the e file against the e6 pawn and the diagonal here is just awesome chess. Rook e1, bishop back, b4. And all of a sudden, not only the positional factors, but the dynamic ones also tend to switch over to Magnus. Now the knight is really poorly placed on a4. Trade, queen b3. And now, because of we don't have the pawn on e4, we can now pile up on e6. Knight c3, rook e6, king h8. And here, according to the engine, the immediate bishop f1, bishop d3 would have secured a slight edge. King h2 was a bit meh. according to the machine. Now we are transitioning into this endgame where white has got two main advantages. One, the better pawn structure because the d4 pawn is rather weak than a strength. And two, the two bishops. In particular, the light squared bishop is completely uncontested, and as a result of that, the light squares are quite tender. But on the flip side, black doesn't have a weakness that we can easily target, so objectively speaking, this should be still a draw. I don't like h6 because this does create a target, and Magnus is going to pile up on it immediately. So much so that he actually even ignores this double threat, by the way. Pretty awesome stuff. King g2 lets the pawn go, but then homes in on the g6 pawn. Very, very cool chess. Knight d6, queen a6. And now again, look at the amazing mobility of the white pieces. Everything is under attack. Attack, attack. I don't even know how to undo these crazy arrows. Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff now that is feeling the heat. And I think this is what ultimately led to Mamedyarov slipping. Knight f5, still okay. h4. Magnus is not taking a5. Really cool chess. This is not running away. White wants to win this game on the king side on the weakness of this diagonal. And after h4, if we are allowed to play h5, it's all over. So h5 is forced, and now he takes. King h7, queen b5, keeping up the tension again on the light squares. Queen f8, queen d5, queen d6. Perfect defense. We are up to move 42, and Mamedyarov is holding like a boss. In some ways, it is a true tragedy that he loses this game. Magnus is pressing, and still the position is definitely better for Magnus, but is it winnable? Probably not. Queen b7, knight d6, queen c6, and here comes the tragic slip up. Queen b3, trying to be clever, counter-attacking here, entirely forgetting about the check. After which white loses, white wins an extra pawn. In fact, two very soon. And with that, the game is over. After a couple of more checks, Mamedyarov decided to give up. He played hit d3, and after queen h5 check, white easily caught up with the pawn on d3, queen f7 check, queen c4. Actually, this is where they resigned. The end of the story would have been queen c4 check, king d7, bishop f4, and now the bishop has been saved. Queen d3 is threatened, and d2 is met by check, and if queen d4, then we just take, or take and then take, doesn't matter. Either way, white wins. I haven't checked the centipawn loss thingy-mobobby. I think for that I need to put this in a study, but I'm pretty certain that the only mistake that poor Mamedyarov made was this blunder here. And until now, I think minor inaccuracies at best. An extremely high-level game. Really entertaining, really high-level. Awesome pressure by Magnus. Equally awesome defense by Mamedyarov. And in the end of the day, a tragic blunder led to this victory. All the other 4 games were drawn, which is what allowed now Magnus to claim the lead. Excuse me. But I'm super excited to see the rest of the tournament. And I've got a few other videos piled up for you as well. I'm just waiting on a few thumbnails. So look out for more content. I will be back with more soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.